Because you had told me to ignore the warning letter. And now you send me the letter. I had received a similar text message. I think the text message says to come tomorrow, 2 o'clock. But the letter says today.
Okay, I'll sort it out for you. Just 2 things, Augustina. Where are you coming from?
Wandsworth. Today was from Wandsworth.
And so you're at Putney, Wandsworth area. That's your area. Where's your area? Where do you live?
I am homeless. I don't live. I found a place
in Putney.
Close to Putney. Yeah.
Okay. But why is it they sent you to Brent? Did you have
because I have a you see my address. The address you sent the letter is a postal address
in Brent.
It's Abbey Road. I don't know exactly where.
Because my manager was speaking, was asking me, would it be easier for you to be doing probation in Putney instead of you traveling all the way here all the time?
For now, yeah. Well, because at the moment I don't have accommodation.
Yeah.
Last week you spoke that you might find.
Yeah, I've applied for that. Yeah.
Yeah.
So is it easier for you to go to report to Putney probation than coming here all the way here?
Yeah, it's better and cheaper.
Cheaper, okay. I'll do
because
that.
To come here, I spend at least £3.50. That's £1.75 the bus to come and £1.75 to go, and plus 20 or 30 minutes walk with that stuff in my back.
I'll do that.
Yeah, so doing in Putney, if there is in Putney, it's better because it's the area where I have been hanging around. You understand?
Okay, I'll do that. And also, just a quick brief. You know when you're arrested, when they arrested you when you're arrested for you to come here.
For the offense that I was convicted.
Yeah.
I emailed you that information.
I'm saying, but what I'm asking, can you just explain to me briefly what happened?
You mean why I was arrested?
Yeah.
And everything. Yeah. So the thing is, I have been slandered by the victim. She's not the victim. Yeah. She actually caused everything. Yeah. And she said to the mental health team that when I was in her father's shop that was on the ground floor of the building where I was living at the time, she said that I was grooming her, touching her, an unwanted touch. Yeah. She said, and she received money for that. Someone told me, because someone heard the telephone conversations, and he said, if you have any evidence, any video, any video, give to us that we expose the video and expose her lies. Yeah. So I did that. I read the video, I trimmed the video, I gave them, and they published it. 2 people, a guy called Marcus Krzysztof and another one, Klaus Schwarz. They are not in the country at the moment. I think Klaus Schwarz come back, he will get back, but I don't know where he is. They published it. And they did the mistake sending the video to them, to her and to her father. And they are very horrible people. Everybody hates them. And then I started receiving text messages with insults, threats, etc. Insane stuff. So I ignored it. I replied not to her, to her father, because he pretended to be the MI5 and said, if you keep harassing us, you're going to jail. This is the MI5. If you keep harassing us, you're going to jail. And I'm going to jail. Harassment is not unless he is racial harassment, it could result, but that's not the kind of harassment. This guy is crazy. So, and I told him, impersonating an authority is also a criminal offense. You go to jail if I show this text message to the police. And he stopped. But the video of me in their shop showing that we had nothing else happened apart of buying water and explaining her that I saw, and I showed her a video, someone walking on their roof, that is a glass roof, it's a conservatory roof, and that part of the building is not very stable, and apparently the guy walking there caused damage inside, and she said that it might be possible because I saw things out of the place. So what happened? She showed me I followed her, but I have a camera. It was not a phone like this. Was I think no, it was a phone like this. It was end of 2023. Yeah, it was a phone like this. The camera was on and was recording. I was not recording her. I was recording myself. You understand? And in the camera is visible that the conversation was friendly. There was no grooming, no touching. Actually, we were apart like the same distance you are from me, because there is a counter and she was behind the counter. And she didn't like to be exposed, her lives to be exposed, even because she had to give the money back. It was about £1,500. And that restaurant is struggling, so they made a problem on it. So I start to be harassed by them. In the Coop supermarket that is next door to the building, there is only one house, one building flat.
Are they English?
They are Jamaican.
Jamaican, oh, okay.
They're Jamaican, yeah. They are here in England for a long time, for decades. But I think they are originally Jamaican. And I was harassed by her once, twice, and then by her father twice. One day he went to the roof. I was cooking in my kitchen, and he went to my window, only to upset me because of the video, saying, "You don't mess with me." Since the moment he said, "You don't mess with me," I closed the window, and that's it. We walked away. So the best way to finish an argument is to turn our back. In that case, I was inside. I could close the window. That's it. Okay. But she was not satisfied. And there was a period in April last year that I was struggling to sleep. I don't know why, maybe anxiety, maybe I slept too much in the days before, I don't know. But I was 2 or 3 nights without sleeping. And I went to the Coop supermarket to buy my food for the day. And she was there and started asking me again, asking to put the video down. She knew, because I told her the previous times that I wouldn't take the video down, because it's not in my account. I don't have control. If you have a YouTube account, I don't have control over YouTube account. Understand? I have control over my YouTube account, and I'm not sure if I also posted on YouTube. I can verify, but I'm not sure. I think I left those 2 accounts, Klaus Schwarz and Markus Kasimovic, to do the job for me. You understand? And on that day, I was not exactly in better condition for an argument. And I warned her that she keeps doing that, there will be consequences. But I was referring to legal consequences, like taking her to court, because I knew her name, I knew the address of the shop, and I could just sign a petition application for a court action for harassment, because I was studying law, I know the law. And soon I am trying to walk away with my shops after paying for it. She was on my way, blocking my way, preventing me to go out. And obviously she was shouting, "Stop recording me, stop." But I was not even recording her. The video shows that I was not recording her. I probably turned the camera in her direction for 2 or 3 seconds, but then I put the camera down, or put the camera in this position recording me. That's what the video showed, because that video was also published by someone on the same day. In normal conditions, if I was not sleepless for 2 or 3 nights, I would go around, because where it happened, I'll show you. Let me see. This is the counter. This is where we start arguing. This is the entry, and this is the only way out of that shop. And this is where they have the shelves, fridges, and where the food is stored and we collected to buy. So, but there was here a corridor, and that corridor gave access to this corridor. So I could go around and avoid her in normal conditions. But because I was not thinking clearly, I was, how can I say, sleepless, and my brain was blank, I just shouted at her. I told her, "Or you stop, or I don't know what's going to happen." In the meantime, she advanced towards me with a hand nearly on my face, and I took that as a threat. I understood that she wanted to slap me, And that's the part that you might see if you have access to the CCTV that you see. And I was asking for help to resolve the problem. Nobody was helping me. To kick her out because she was causing the problem, was not me. So that situation in which she advanced with her hand towards my face, nearly slapping me, made me give a few steps back. And that's the clear proof that I thought I was going to be slapped. Otherwise I would stand up. Come on, do it. But I didn't do. I back up. I tried to avoid the conflict. But she kept doing it until I lost my mind. I dropped things. And then I stepped on her foot. And the front side of the foot. That's when she fell. And then the CCTV shows that I kicked her in the back on the way out, trying to walk away. It looks like I stepped on her head, but it wasn't intentional. I just wanted to walk away, and it happened. And I was not wearing glasses. You understand? If you check my glasses, they're extremely strong. So which means that I didn't see her head when I stepped at it. You understand? And I ran away. You understand? So the police on the same day knocked to our door. I didn't open. They opened the door on the second day. They knocked the door the second day, and someone opened the door. The same people who apparently, according to the circumstances, had set fire to the house. And that's when I lost my house, because they told the landlord and told the police that was me, when it wasn't me. Because when I was awake by that time, and the lights gone down, and I heard steps. So, according to previous events in the house, and I have that in my YouTube channel, that power down was caused on purpose by a guy called Karol Gorny. He's a Polish guy, he's an electrician, but he was many times putting the power down and pretending that was fixing. And in the end he was fixing, but he was preparing already for that event. So he put the power down, and I heard the steps. Because it happened before, I thought it was him, and actually should be him, nobody else. And that's when I noticed that it was taking too long. I opened the door of my room, and it smelled gas. All I have to do, the house was dark, smelling gas. I was afraid of an explosion. I put my shoes on, my phone's in the pocket of my jumper, and walked away and jumped the window for safety. I didn't have time. I didn't think about shouting for safety, even because I didn't have a close relationship with anybody in the house. In the sense, if I had a friend there, I'll knock and say, "Hey, there's gas in the house. Let's walk out because it can explode." No, I didn't do, because nobody there meant anything to me. I walked away and waited outside. Then I started to hear voices in Polish coming from inside. It was everything dark. The voices were Karol Gorny and Sebastian Bujalski is the guy who assaulted me on 2 or 3 days later. Now I'll tell you the story here also. And suddenly I see coming from the kitchen window a big clarity coming, because the house was completely in darkness. Outside was also darkness. It was rainy, which means there was clouds, and I don't think there was any moon. So there was no clarity outside, neither inside. But I saw that clarity coming from outside, and then those same voices talking a little bit in panic. They probably didn't expect that the fire would expand, the flame would be so big. Then I heard steps down the stairs, and coming up the stairs, but then there was still panic until I think someone remembered that he left the fire extinguisher in the corner of because that house has, imagine, the fire was here. Here's the kitchen. Right, my room is here. There's 2 rooms in here. There's a toilet, and here there's a staircase. And never was before a fire extinguisher in there. On that day, there was. I found it quite strange and quite a coincidence. So, but that fire extinguisher, apparently was the only one was working, used to be on the ground floor just below the stairs, together with stuff that belongs to that guy, Carl Gorney, the one who used to put the power down. You understand? So I believe, I don't have proof of this is my theory, but because never was in that corner, you used to be in the middle of his stuff, and suddenly we found it there and we have a fire, that means that they knew they would need it. They did it on purpose. So he gone down the stairs, and then he gone up, and I heard the noise of the fire extinction hitting the wall, bing, and then that I see that the fire gone down. I waited because I didn't know what was at the time I was not aware the purpose. So after maybe half an hour after it calmed down, I entered in the house through the kitchen window the same way that I was going out, and there was a light coming from it's an improvised installation. So the power was down, they didn't put it up. Apparently it had some kind of generator, I don't know. And I went down, and then two voices coming from the ground floor, from the dark, saying, "Amadeo, why didn't you shoot anybody?" A male voice that was Carl Gorney. And his wife saying, "You're a criminal! You're a fucking criminal!" At the time I didn't react because I didn't know what's the purpose of that. But Carol Gorney was his wife. I'm not sure if she knew the plans, if she was involved, but it doesn't seem to be. I don't think she knew about this. So he did it probably in secret. She reacted in a way that probably after the story heard from him that I did. You understand? But his reaction was quite very calm and polite. And that is still quite strange until today. He never accused me of something. Even when the police was there, he never accused me of doing the fire. It was his wife. The same one that said that I was a criminal or something. You understand? Until today. And when I was there to collect my stuff after being arrested and being released on the 8th of April, because I was still a tenant, I have no eviction notice. I was never told by text message or WhatsApp or a phone call, "Hey, you cannot go to the house, you're not living there anymore." You understand? Otherwise I wouldn't go, or ask permission to them to collect my stuff. Look, I need to collect my stuff, I need to go somewhere. But nothing, it was completely silence from everyone. But what I did, I knocked the door soon I arrived, early in the morning on the 8th, so one more night without sleeping. There's one guy, the same who put the fire, the same whose voice I heard while I was outside, came to the window and refused to open the door. He said that I'm going to be homeless for a long time. You can sleep in the woods, there's plenty of space in the woods. You're going to be homeless for long. And at the same time, he was spitting on me. I reported that to the police because despite my mobile phones were seized by the police, all of them, in Collier's Wood, behind a few, I think it's council housing, in a quiet place that I found to take a rest. There was a man with a torch, and I asked him, "Do you have any mobile phone in second hand that you can sell me?" And he said, "Yes, I have one." He told me what mobile phone it would be, and the price. He said, "30 quid." Okay, oh, that's great. But the phone didn't worth 10 pounds. It was so bad. But for the day was great because I went back to the house, knocked the door again, and I recorded the guy speaking on me again. I went to the police station and reported him. So I understood that I had no other choice but buying a drilling machine and drill the lock. But at the time I was not aware that such is a criminal offense. You understand? Even if it's your own house. Imagine if you're married and your wife don't lock the door, don't open the door, lock the door inside, or change the lock because she wants you out, and you go and drill the lock, you're committing a crime. You understand? I didn't check the legislation. What I could do was going around, but to go around, I have to jump into somebody's property, which is always complicated because sometimes they have ring bell cameras. and if something else happens, I'll be the suspect. I tried to do that because the owner of the house in the back was there, Alan, I think his name was Alan, and that's the guy who suggested me to drill the lock. So I follow his bad advice. But when I jumped into his roof and I tried to access the roof of the properties in the back, there was a part in which was too high, and I have problems to be in the heights, you understand? Something like I was already in the Shard, you know the Shard, the tallest tower in UK, but if I approach to the edge, to the window, and look down, so quite that impression, yeah, and that's it. So I start walking, look down, it was dark, and I said, no, I cannot make it. So that's when I decided that I would buy a drilling machine and I would drill the lock. So the father of the victim, Mr. Brown, called the police anonymously and said that I was breaking into a house right next to it. The police came, arrested me for 15 minutes, seized all my stuff. I explained what I was doing. Then the police officer in charge, PC Anthony, spoke with me and said, I will speak with them and make sure that you live here. And I showed him, I have it here somewhere. That's why the police didn't act properly. And I think I did a complaint, but they ignored it. This proves that I live there. But it's expired now. By the time was not expired, you understand? So would serve as proof that I was a resident. You understand? The police didn't hear, ignored this, spoke to the residents, and the residents were told to say that I was not living there anymore, that I had been evicted. And I said, but what is the eviction notice? I don't have any eviction notice. And I was living there until Saturday, until I was arrested. And now I'm not living there. I need at least 2 months notice to find another place. And the police said, that is a civil matter, we don't get involved. No, they did wrong, because if I was illegally evicted, they have to say, no, you're going to stay here at least 15 days. He should say to the landlord by phone and say he have to stay here at least 15 days until he finds somewhere else. But no, the police said, you have 15 minutes to pick up your stuff and walk away. And that's it. So in 15 minutes I collected massive makud with a rucksack. I had two. One disappeared. The brand new one with clothes disappeared, and the old one with crap, tools and stuff that I didn't need. That's the one I used to put my stuff, a few clothes, and walk away. So because I was warned that I will be assaulted by Sebastian Mujowski, one of the guys involved in the fire, and the father of the victim of the supermarket incident, the reason why I'm here, would assault me. And I told the police, I told PC Anthony that I don't want to leave alone, I will wait for you. So what I did, while they were in the shop buying something to drink, I went to the road next door. It's called HAYDONS Road, where the police car was parked, and I waited there. So the police came then and drove away. 30 seconds later, 3 guys come in my direction. Sebastian Mujowski, one of the ones who put the fire. What is his name? Leo Brown, the father of the girl, and another one that I never saw before. That was cousin or family or friend of Sebastian Mujowski. And I was assaulted. I think I have a picture of that in here. I can show you. I called the police, and the police who came to me was exactly the same police that was with me, that arrested me half an hour before for drilling the lock. And they saw the condition I was. I will show you. I must have it here somewhere. Let me see if it's perhaps this one. Yeah, and that's the story of the incident that resulted in.
How old is this girl?
Sorry?
How old is she? Do you know roughly 40?
Emma. Yeah. No, 20s, less than 30. I presume she's not that old. She's 25. She was pregnant 5 months. I didn't know.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
But it was not obvious the belly was not obvious, you understand, so I couldn't guess. But that's the thing, that's why I shouldn't. First of all, she lied about the injuries. And that's the point, that the reason why this conviction should be quashed. You understand? She lied about the injuries. She had no injuries. The medical report just says that she had. The medical report repeats what she says. But there was no scan, no x-ray, no nothing. And she was inquired in the court during the judgment why she didn't do any exam. She said, we couldn't do it because of the baby. It's not true, because the x-ray cannot be done because she was pregnant. But the x-ray only sees bones. It doesn't see tissues. You understand? If she says she had a swallow in the back where she was hit, a scan will detect it, and the picture will be made. But the scan doesn't affect the pregnancy, doesn't affect the child, because when the doctors want to see the sex of the baby and the condition of the baby as soon as it's a scan, it's the same machine. They could use the same machine. So this means that she falsified or told the doctor basically to falsen the medical records, and she said it was in pain. But that's one thing that I forgot during the judgment to say to the prosecutor, is that her statement says that she was in the shop to buy painkillers, which means she was already in pain. So if she was in pain, it was not because of me, she was already. You understand? It's a lot of contradictions, a lot of stuff that made me believe that I was wrongly charged. I shouldn't be charged because the charge was in March this year, and the offense was in April last year. So if there is no proof of the injuries, shouldn't be assault causing ABH. Should be just common assault. In common assault, the charge, I should be charged until the 5th of October. It will be by now 1 year, not 6 months later. You understand? I was charged nearly 1 year later. So I was charged out of time. But because she made up the story, she had injuries and pain, etc., they took it as real, and that's why I was charged and then convicted. But the judgment was very clear. There was no proof of her injuries. I argued with that with the prosecutor several times. The magistrates, for any reason, they decided that way, but I think my case should be subject of a review, and it should be quashed.
Okay, I'll write that up and let you know what happens. Okay, thank you for telling the story. So, right now, is there anything else I can help you with?
No,
I've done the housing thing, I've done the thing, but I just wanted to hear your side of the story, so I can write it up for them.
They need to know what happened. Yeah, so that's the thing, because to put fire in the house, and when I was questioned in this police station, when I was arrested on the 7th or the 6th, yeah, it was the 7th, it was a Sunday, about the assault, the same officer questioned me about the fire. And I explained to him, no, whoever did it put the power down. And I have on YouTube several times Carol Gorney putting the power down. So he was already in preparation, including with the help of one guy who, coincidence or not, was not there that weekend. There's a guy, he's from Jamaica, his name is David Riley. He was living in the room opposite to them, the room above my room. And in the first time, and when he's on my YouTube channel, he was helping him to play that game, that the power was down. And in coincidence or not, that guy was not there. He was not there. He spent the weekend somewhere. Birmingham, I think he has family in Birmingham, they're going to Birmingham. You understand? So they took advantage of his sex. Otherwise, he would figure out that if the light, the power was down first before, it would be him the responsible for the fire. You understand? They calculated that very well. And the second thing is, and I explained it, is first of all, you need tools to disconnect the gas pipes. And my tools, I have it here. I'll show you. That's the only thing. This. It's not enough. It's not big enough. We need a tool, a bolt driver like this, It's large.
Larger.
My one doesn't fit in there. So whoever is connected, you have one like this, much bigger. That's the first thing, and the police knows that. The second thing is that whoever did it needs a lighter to light the fire, because the fire doesn't happen because you do this. You understand? So because there is gas, there will be a fire. And I told that I don't have a lighter. I didn't have matches. There was no matches in the house. There was nothing. You understand? So whoever did it have to have the proper tools and the lighter. And curiously, coincidentally or not, both Carol Gordy and Sebastian Bujowski, the ones whose voices I heard when I was outside, they both smoke, which means they have a lighter. I have probably plenty of them. So then there was a lot of speculation, because after I was arrested, they broke in my room, the residents, including those who put the fire, and they found out several lighters in the rucksack that I took. But that rucksack was opened also by the police officer who arrested me, and she had a dash cam. And she was also interviewed about that. When you open that bag to remove the alcohol gel, because I have it here. I have hemorrhoids sometimes after using the toilet. I use this. Right. And I have a bigger one that was not used for several months, because when she asked me why I have this and what is that, it was full of dust. The only fingerprints that are there is her fingerprints, because I was not touching that stuff for a long time. You understand? But with gas, the way it was, you don't need that stuff to set fire in the house. You just need to put fire in the paper, and then the gas will. Yeah, exactly. That's it. So, but the police did the wrong stuff. I don't know, probably wrongly oriented by someone else, because she entered my room. She knew where was that stuff. She was not searching for my room. She didn't have time, because I was still being handcuffed, and she came immediately with that. So she knew where it was. So it looks like the fire was some kind of frame, planned frame. You understand? And the place where she collected that stuff, which was seized, that's were the broken lighters that I had for ages, but they broke, and I just dropped in there. You understand? That, as I said, I was looking for my new rucksack that disappeared, was stolen. And I had to take that one that was in the corner, together with crap that was forgotten for a long time. So those lighters were, or the, what's the name?
Clippers.
The clippers were not rolling properly, or it didn't have the clippers. And I didn't throw them away. Why? Because sometimes I'm a little bit skilled, and I could open it and join together and put in a lighter that would be working. You understand? That's why I kept. But the fact is that I didn't do that. I postponed that for several months. It was there forgotten. But she was interviewed about that, about the lighters, and she said that they were not working. Otherwise, she would seize them. You understand? Well, that's it. So she seized the wrong material. The investigation was wrongly conducted since the beginning. Okay. And now I know there are people who are fabricating stories. There is one, and I still don't know why that guy, the Ukrainian guy that was there for a couple of weeks, he was new in there. He told the police that he saw me lighting a candle in the stove. And then with a candle, I lighted the fire. That's what he said to the police. So the police took it, but then because a decision like that is a life-threatening decision, must be made by the CPS. It's a CPS only decision to charge someone. That's why I wasn't charged. And that's basically what is saving me, is that fabrication, because when the CPS started reading and reviewing the material, he said, hold on, how was it possible for this guy to light a candle in the stove if there was no gas in the stove?
Oh, yeah.
Since the moment you disconnect the pipes in the entry room, the gas comes out. It doesn't reach anymore the boiler or the cooker. So the guy at the moment, he had an arrest warrant. He was not at home. He was working the chicken shop somewhere. But then someone told the police not to arrest him. He was not arrested. But there's a lot of stuff, nonsense stuff, that has been told in order to place me as suspect. Because that's what they want, you understand? Because if In that case, it is a life-threatening, but nobody got hurt. And the damage was not that big. So it's not considered, because I was checking the law, and in arson accusations, there are 3 levels. There is minimum risk, medium risk, and maximum risk. So, and the sentence is according to that risk. So even if I was convicted without doing it, I would be convicted for the first level, not the maximum level, because nobody got burned, nobody got hurt, and the damage was not that big. It was not the house, because they were using this. There's a case in which a guy called Russell, he did exactly the same. He opened the gas, burst the gas, and boom, the house exploded. You understand? Had to be rebuilt again. But that's completely different. It was not that what happened. You understand? Even if I was wrongly convicted for that case, it should be the first level, not the maximum level. But someone was trying to manipulate the things. Yeah?
Someone was trying to manipulate the situation.
Exactly, and make it bigger in order to put me in jail for life sentence. They were trying to use that. It's the same people who is forging videos, because they know a guy that looks like me. His name is Arnie, they call him Arnie. He's from Amsterdam, but he has been here in UK. He's the perfect shape of me, like a twin, you understand? And they put that guy in a video with a gun robbing money in a shop in Birmingham. And with that video, the police was almost charging me, but they forgot something. The guys who did the robbery, they were caught. And in court, they were identified. The shopkeeper said, yeah, that's them. So, but because there was no CCTV, you understand, now they're taking advantage of that. They want to quash their conviction in order to put me as suspect. But the problem is that story was already posted on the social media. You understand? And the police chief constable of the Birmingham police refused to do that. He said no, because the guys were caught. They were sentenced in court because the shopkeeper said it's him. That's it. Why you are fabricating something to put someone innocent in jail? Because that is life sentence also. I could go to prison for a long time. And it's just like the fire. The fire was prepared to put me in jail. First, kick me out from the house. Because that is already been planned for more than a year. You understand? But was making difficult because I am very clever. You understand? When I hear someone in the toilet that was right above my room, I was going there with a camera check. You understand? And always the same people were not flushing the toilet. And I was sending to the landlord, oh look, your friend Carol and his wife is not flushing the toilet. You understand? But in the end, they were going to say that was me. Then the landlord said, you don't have hygiene, go out. You understand? Things like that, stupid stuff. You understand? That was happening, that I was preventing. Just like the rubbish, we had 2 days for rubbish collection. So after certain time in the afternoon, we are allowed by the council to drop our rubbish in front of our door. But they were doing on a daily basis. And then they will say that was me. So I was at my door with a camera recording them doing the job. And I sent to the landlord, and then I said to the council. Yes, they stopped. But in the end, the intention was to say that was me. You understand? So things like that, stupid things. Because whoever is behind, they wanted me homeless.
Homeless, okay.
Whatever the purpose behind it, and they did it, they made it. But they didn't get the purpose because I'm still here.
Still here, that's true.
You understand? I'm still here and I will stay for a long time.
Okay. So I've got a story, I'll go and write reports, and I would ask my manager if they can transfer you to partner because it will be easier for you.
If that happens, it's great. Yeah.
Okay.
So can you email me?
They'll send you a letter on a text to let you know. But next week, just come here.
Okay.
Yeah. And then we'll work from there. But I'll prepare you for a house and everything.
Okay, that's great. So can you write for me the next appointment? Yeah. So tomorrow I don't have to be here because the text message.
No, don't come tomorrow.
Yeah, because the text message. The text message says that it was tomorrow. The letter said it is today. Yeah.
Next Thursday is
31st, yeah, 31st.
So next Thursday is
I know it says here, wait. No, the appointment is on 30, it's correct. So the both the letter and yeah, there's no contradiction here. Both the letter and the text message, it says 1:30 to see Michael McMurray on 30th of October. Yeah, that's it. That's correct. Now the 31st is to provide evidence, but I don't need evidence because
no, you don't.
you told me to ignore it, so I have a screenshot of that. Yeah, that's it. So this is the darkest story of my life. I could write a book about things that is happening, but you know.
It's good you keep it record by phone.
Yeah.
It's good.
So 6, yeah, on the 12:30 earlier.
But I'll definitely transfer to partner.
Yeah, it's better because it's a long way. I am just here because my postal address is not far from here.
Oh yeah. Oh okay.
You understand? And that's the reason why I come.
Thanks for coming.
All right, just go.